Good morning, Lee Robinson here from American Sentinel Canine. So this morning I've got some great news about the Second Amendment. Probably the best news that this country's had on the Second Amendment since 1934 and the National Firearms Act. So in the big beautiful bill, there's a couple of provisions that address the Second Amendment. One of them is called the Hearing Protection Act. Now, the other one that we're interested in as a Second Amendment supporter is called the Short Act, which is not in it yet. It was presented briefly, didn't go through the House, but it can be amended and put back in the big beautiful bill when it goes through the Senate. And but anyway, the Hearing Protection Act passed through the House this morning. I stayed up really late last night, up until about 2:30, 2:40 this morning, and then went to bed, and then this morning woke up, checked the status, and it passed. It passed the House. And what this Hearing Protection Act does is it makes suppressors no longer an NFA item, not a National Firearms Act item. So it's going to remove them from the ATF regulation, basically, the National Firearms Act and the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms restrictions and whatnot. So if this goes through the Senate, which is expected to go through, then we won't have to have a registry with the ATF to restrict these items. Now, the other bill is the Short Act, which is going to address SBRs, or pistols. Now, obviously, this here is an AR pistol because it's got a pistol brace on it. But if the Short Act goes through, then I will be able to update this system and put an actual stock on it, which makes the platform more stable. Now, the reason why I'm addressing this on American Sentinel Canine is because the purpose of an American Sentinel Canine is to provide home protection. An SBR, or in this case a pistol, provides better security than does a handgun. Our handgun is basically our primary weapon of defense that we for personal carry when we're out and about. But at home, there are platforms that are better than a pistol, such as a shotgun or a rifle. But the problem with those is the longer barrel makes it more difficult to navigate through the house, your home or whatever, in order to provide proper security. Because really the goal of a pistol is to provide security until you can get to your rifle, right? But a long barrel rifle is kind of hard to navigate through tight quarters. If you're going down a hallway, have to check the bathroom, behind the doors, and moving around. So this is where a shorter barrel is advantageous to secure your home. Now, so what we need to do now is we need to contact our senators. There is a Capitol switchboard that you can call to reach out to address your senators and make sure that you tell them that you want the Hearing Protection Act, not just the partial of removal of the tax stamps, but actual removal from a NFA, National Firearms Act, because by removing it from the NFA as a taxable item, which is something required to get by the Byrd Rule. The Byrd Rule says anything in reconciliation, which is what's going through, has to be tax related. And so by removing the tax from $200 to $0 on a suppressor or silencer, gun enthusiasts call them suppressors because they don't make a gun silent. That's just Hollywood nonsense. But the laws are actually written on silencer, the word silencer. By removing the tax liability for purchasing a suppressor or silencer, by removing that liability, there's no longer grounds for registry, because the whole purpose of the registry and the justification for the registry, they can't register the guns. So since they can't register the firearms themselves, they have to register the tax. Well, when you remove that tax, you also move grounds for registry. This takes it off of the ATF, and now homeowners are allowed to provide the security that they need to not only protect their homes, but what was the Second Amendment about? It wasn't just about hunting or home protection. It was about securing this nation's future. The Second Amendment is about the people being able to form a militia if necessary in order to protect themselves from a tyrannical government. And that's what's going through right now. We are establishing America's foundation on our fundamental principles of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and the freedom of the Second Amendment in order to secure those other liberties that we have here in the United States. You know, we have a shooting range on our property, and I don't really talk about firearms that much. I've always been wanting to do that because a dog is only going to provide so much security. They're great alarms. They're great first stage of defense. Actually, defense comes in multiple levels. It comes from environmental awareness. It comes from neighborhood watch. It comes from having security cameras. It comes from having speed dial on your phone to alert the authorities. It comes from having a dog to let you know that somebody's on your property. It also comes with fire extinguishers. It comes with video cameras. It comes with warning signs on your property, but it also comes with competency and training about the proper use of firearms, as well as understanding your political system. And this is the first time in my lifetime that we have actually taken America back to some of the fundamental principles that this nation was founded upon, which is basically the Bill of Rights. It's we the people that run this country. Our government officials are elected by us. So you can apply pressure on your government official to make sure that we have these things in the Senate bill, not just the Hearing Protection Act to remove it from the NFA or the ATF, but also the SHORT Act. Tell your congressmen, your senators, that you want this in this bill. It's H.R. 1, and you can contact your senator by calling 202-224-3121. That's the U.S. Capitol switchboard, and ask for your senator and make sure that they stand up for the rights of the American people. I do hope that we'll have some more shooting videos in the future, but YouTube likes to put restrictions on accounts when we do that. That number again for your senator is 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. Y'all take care and have a blessed day.